Yo, what is the deal, everybody? Welcome to another Raider Nation Unlimited. I'm your man, Wasted Talent. Salute to everybody in the chat. Get wasted with your brother, Wasted. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We got to share this thing out to all social media. This is a live that just came out of nowhere, right? I had the time. Man. I said, you know what? I got time. It's time for me to tap back in with the nation. You guys know we don't cook unless there's over 100 in the room. Get wasted with your brother, Wasted, man. Listen, we're gonna get into a few things here, guys. I understand that, this has been a very, very tough season for a lot of us Raiders, because we're all Raiders, right? This has been a tough season for us. We got over 100 in the room, y'all. So now we can cook. But this has been a tough season, man. Appreciate my guy, John B. Raider, the great and powerful Wasted Talent, man. Appreciate you, dog. I'm not feeling so great or powerful the way that this season is thrown out, man. I mean, look, nobody thought that the Raiders were going to win a Super Bowl. And we talk about this every day. We didn't think that. We knew that, this roster needed to be built at some level. But we didn't think that this was going to be this situation that we have here, bro. We didn't think that. And, I am the person that I try to breathe life into the nation. I try to bring life into the nation, into the nation. I try to bring hope to Raider Nation, right? I'm gonna be real. Most of us have checked out. I never check out. I never check out. But there's a lot of people that have checked out. There's a lot of people that have checked out. And it's okay. It's okay, man. And like my man Hug been saying, man, you got to use this for fuel in the gym. Bro, you have no clue. You have no idea, bro. You have no idea. I have definitely been using, this negative season as fuel for a lot of things in my life, right? I've been actually working at my actual job a lot lately too. And look, man, we just gonna go. We're gonna go through the news cycle, and we just gonna be for real. I am not the guy that has come on here and called for Pete Carroll's head. I think it's counterproductive if you have a platform such as I do. But I have to be real with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I have to be real with y'all. You guys know that for myself, the things that we say in on these platforms hold weight. I know we think that our voices don't get back and it travels back to, the Mark Davises of the world, the shareholders in the Raiders, the National Football League. It matters. The stuff that we do on these platforms matters. This is the people's new media. These platforms are becoming more impactful than traditional media. So I try to be pragmatic. I try to be patient. I try to give a 74-year-old coach his grace because of who he has been. And there were a lot of people say, man, you got to give him more than one season. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm no ageist. But you can't build a future with a person who is not long for the game. So from the door, it's been a bad marriage. It's been a bad marriage, man. And then if you're going to let Pete have the show, you have to allow him to have the show, right? So we got a situation where you got a coach that was hired that is probably too old. You have a quarterback who is a Band-Aid journeyman quarterback that people are pointing off as a top 10 quarterback, a franchise quarterback. He is not that. He's not that. He's never been that. And now we got a situation now where, like I said, the fish rots from the head, right? The whole organization is rotten right now. And we have to really talk about the inevitability of this. There's only a few more weeks left in this season. Black Monday is coming. And I think that Pete Carroll, by hook and or crook, will be either fired or relieved of his duties, or he'll step down. Now, look, we got to get into a report. And I don't know if you guys listen to the ventriloquist dummy himself, but Mike Florio spoke about what the Raiders are going to do with Pete Carroll. A lot of rumors out there that he will not be retained. And if I'm being honest, I don't think he should. Right? And this is not totally his fault. And I'm going to say it again. This ain't totally Pete's fault. It's not Pete's fault. Salute to almost 300 of you guys in the room. Get wasted with your brother Wasted. This is not totally Pete's fault. But where he is in his life, where he is in his coaching journey, it's never going to work for where we are as an organization and a fan base. It's not going to work. We need everything from top to the bottom new. We need a new, young, innovative head coach. We need a new quarterback that is young, that we can build behind or in front of, right? We need that. We need that. We need that, man. This, look, and the nation is no longer going to allow this level of ineptitude anymore. We've been patient a long time, bro. We've been patient a long time. And the Raider fan base is not going along for another ride that is not done perfectly. We as a fan base know what it takes to build an organization, because it's not rocket science, because we've seen it time and time again. It has been a tried and true metric to how you build a winning football team. We know what time it is. And that's the problem, right? And there's a report today, and I'm going to read it. Mike Florio said that the Raiders are not expected to retain. Now, this is from NBC Sports, Pete Carroll beyond this season. And the Raiders are also likely to try to avoid paying Pete Carroll the full amount of his contract that he signed less than a year ago. Now, according to Mike Florio, the rumor in NFL circles right now is that the Raiders would like to create a peaceful exit plan for Pete Carroll, where he isn't officially fired and the team can avoid paying out his contract. Something has to change, Florio wrote, but will it? Pete Carroll shouldn't want to stay. The Raiders shouldn't want him to stay. The current speculation, per league source, centers around some sort of negotiated resolution pursuant to where Carroll retires and gets a portion of what he's owed. The Raiders were told they will be financially off the hook as to former Antonio Pierce, since he signed an only 2-year deal that he got in 2024, right? So, the next day, Florio addressed Tom Brady's role in determining the next head coach, right? And he believes that the Raiders will have a hard time attracting top coaching candidates based on the way Josh McDaniels, Antonio Pierce, and Carroll, who will most likely be leaving the organization, have been treated, right? And Florio suggests that Brady step away from a hands-on role and hire somebody with experience. Now, listen, I gotta be transparent with you. This is something that I've been saying from the door. And that's the reason why I'm reading this, because this is the reason why you come over here to Raider Nation Unlimited and all share more shows. I have been saying this shit all season, that there's no way that they should fire Pete, but I do believe he should step down. And I'm going on record saying that I don't think he should be the coach next year, and he should have never been the coach, right? And when he became coach, it was something that we had to try to embrace, right? When they hire coaches and they bring in players and they do things, I have to look for the good in it, right? Even if I don't totally agree, I got to look for the good in it. This is not what the Raiders need, and this is something that the Raiders continue to fight against time and time again. Organizational control, bro. Having the owner have the wherewithal to hire people and allow them to do their job unencumbered by someone else's opinion. GMs should not have their opinions soiled by the coach, because those are two jobs. The team president or team of head of operations should not have his opinion soiled by the people under him. Head coaches need to be head coaches and not scouts for players and pseudo GMs. This is not what should happen. And you should not continue to go out there and hire recycled coaches. And the only time we've had any success in the last 20 years is in the beginning of a Carr being here. And because he was a young quarterback that we drafted and built around. We all know, I can come on here today, tomorrow, and the next week and say the same thing to you guys. And nothing's going to change. And we all want this to change. And I see all y'all chats in there. I'm going to read some of y'all comments. We're going to go over some more news. We'll broach a little bit of the Texans game. But listen, we all as a fan base need to demand that this thing is done properly. Now, Mike Florio says that Brady should step away, and I think Brady should. I don't think Tom Brady should be the football brain in the building if he is not a guy who is 100% on board and committed. And the fact that he makes $370 million from Fox, it stands to reason that he wouldn't. Like, the Raiders are not going to pay him that kind of money to run this football team, as they should not. You need somebody that is 100% invested and in the building every single day. Twice on Sunday. Twice on effing Sunday. Salute to my brother. Hug these nuts. Just the simple fact that Wasted sounds like he's talking to us at an intervention and we're his kids makes me sad. I'm kind of scared because usually he yells at us. Speaking all slow to us, it sinks in. Man, Hug, first and foremost, right? I would like to say, man, I'm sorry, man. This is hurting me more than it'll hurt you. And you talking about me sinking anything in the vicinity of you is disgusting, nasty work. Pause, all the pauses of all time. I mean, it is just ridiculous. You effing bum. You have got to chill with that filth. I will never be sinking anything anywhere around you. You got to chill. Got to chill. But look, man, I'm not. I appreciate you, Prom. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for liking my comment episode. You check out 60 Minutes interview on Indiana football this past Sunday. No, I'm going to check it out. I like Cignetti, man. I like him. I like Fernando Mendoza, too. Right. And we're going to get into some Mendoza talk, get into a little draft talk. We're going to mix it up, guys, because it's not a whole lot of Raider stuff that we can really cling to. So for me to craft the show, you're going to get some college ball. We're going to talk about the Raiders. We're going to talk about some other stuff, man, that affects the Raiders. But it all is Raider centric, yo. Salute to everybody in the chat. Yo, Blazy Romo, 9813. I don't see anyone other. I don't see anyone other than another old coach and someone young with experience is not available. Look, it's rough, right? Because look, there's only 32 jobs, right? You might not get the consensus number one guy. A lot of times when you go into the coaching carousel, right? And you start talking about who's available and who's not, and who you want to hire and who you don't. Most of the time, bro, the guy that everyone says is the consensus number one guy out there is not the best. It's not the best guy, right? He's not the best guy all the time. You know, this past season, it is looking like Ben Johnson is worth the price of admission. But if we don't get the next, you know, top guy, it's okay. We got to get the right guy for us. We got to get the right guy for us. The Raiders have to hire the right guy and bring in the right quarterback for us. It's crazy, man. Crazy, man. Yo, salute to everybody in the chat, man. Salute, man. You guys are a bunch of miscreants and deviants. Espilo said, bring in Ozzie Newsome. Bro, you know, Ozzie Newsome is a great team president, bro. Great GM. I don't know if Ozzie Newsome is still working in that capacity. That's the thing, you know. And then, look, once again, right? We want a quick fix. We want something that we can connect to. I think that the person who's right for this job might not be somebody as far as, you know, running a team, right, and being a team pres. It might not be somebody that we would even think of, or even the next coach. We talk about Shula and some of these guys. Our next head coach and the guy that's right for the job might not be the guy everybody thinks, and we need to be okay with it. But from a philosophical standpoint, they, you know, the Raiders need to start marrying the way that they do business with the people who are the decision makers in this building. See, the problem that the Raiders have had over the last 15, 20 years is that you have people with thought processes that are not congruent. You got GMs on one page, you got coaches on another page, you got the owner on another page. It's nasty work, bro. And you got Mark, who's an owner who, yo, he's a guy that for some reason, bro, he'll try to win every game. He's not the owner that would want a tank job or he'd be happy if they win a game this season, which I think is crazy, right? Because I've heard things through the grapevine, you know. Like we're in a situation as a fan base, bro, that and I'm gonna trail off of this, bro. We're gonna get into some more Raider news. We're a fan base though that is we're broken. We're broken, and we do not have any more patience. I can tell from the reaction to Raider content. I can tell from the reaction to Raider news. I can tell from the reaction to the press conference. I go in the presser, and I have more people in my chat than the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's insane, right? So they have to get it right, because we're gonna lose this fan base this year. We're gonna lose it, bro. Salute to everybody, man. Salute the graph in here. Hey, man, listen. What you mean? My hoodie ain't tight at all, bro. It's the way listen, graph. This is what you call swagger, bro. I'll introduce you to some of it one day. You know what I'm saying? I'll show you what it's like to have that split splash. You know what I'm saying? That pizzazz, man. That swagger. I'm going to introduce you to it, bro. I swear, man. I wish that I can make all of you as swaggy as the great and powerful, bro. I wish I could, man. But there's only one wasted. So you get the F up out of here, bro. You know what I'm saying? But you know, look, man. You know, motherfuckers like you can't rock no fly shit like this. You know what I'm saying? The F up out of here, man. Yeah, man. That boy was San Jose Shark down, bro. I saw it, man. Appreciate you, man. You know, the drip God speaking. You know what I'm saying? The trip God speaking, baby. What's wrong with you, man? Come on now. Oh my God, man. But yeah, man. Look, so what I wanted to get into is, you know, there are a few issues with this team, right? And we got to start at the top of the list, right? Tyree Wilson. You know, I noticed that Tyree Wilson's workload has gone down. The Raiders have a tough decision with Tyree Wilson, right? No matter who the head coach is, this is a guy that, you know, when we start naming young players that we can lean on, because we, you know, right now, bro, we're trying to take, we're looking at the Raiders, right? And the way I look at the Raiders, I look at the Raiders like a rehab property, right? I think the Raiders are an organization, like when you buy a rehab property, I think the Raiders are an organization who's a piece of prime real estate in a great neighborhood that's a rundown property. Man, Kraft, man, listen, bro, don't try to derail. This motherfucker look like a well-dressed sperm smell and shit, man. It's my life, bro. Man, get the F up out of here, bro. Graf, you know who Graf looked like, yo? Graf looked like motherfucking. I can't even do this guy like that, bro. That's disrespectful as hell, bro. You said I look like a butler, motherfucker. This motherfucker, yo. That motherfucker look like an uncooked sperm cell, yo. Oh man, yo. Oh man, yo. Motherfucking Peter Vesey talking slick, man. But yeah, man. When we start talking about the Raiders, we have to take assessment of what they have here, what they need, where they need to go next year. You know, beyond who they hire, right? The only thing we can really hang on to is the actual roster. And when we talk about the roster, yo, the things you're going to keep if you're going to reclaim this property called the Raiders, right? Brock Bowers, Max, you know, and that's subjective to what direction you're going to go in. That's subjective, right? Max, Genty, Bowers, Jackson Powers Johnson, possibly Caleb, right? You know, we don't really know how good he is. Like, you know, he did all right the week before. He had a little some struggles this week, gave up a sack, a couple hurries this week, right? But he looks like he's a player, right? And then from there, it gets real murky with the Raiders, right? It gets very, very murky, man. Jack Best, because you just drafted him, right? Porter, you know, but it's not like Porter would, you know, preclude you from going out there and improving the corner room, right? So now you have a situation where over 50% of your roster needs to be overturned. It's just clear, right? So you got that, and then you got a situation, of course, AJ Cole, right? You got to get a new kicker, right? Like, so now you're in a situation where not only are you hiring a coach, you have to have somebody on the timeline that Raider Nation is okay with letting them see this thing through. You have to be on time with that and online with that. So that's one of the reasons why, you know, I truly believe that no matter who the Raiders hire, right, it has to be somebody that they are bought in to leave here and let them do their job, because this is beyond a rebuild. This is a total remaking and reimagining of this team, right? We're probably gonna have to move on from 50% of the guys on his roster. I'm telling you right now, yo. Yeah. Oh, look, I do not need my show derailed right there. You know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes when I see Graf, man, and You know, I think to myself, man, that he looks like one of the bushwhackers. But look, what I'm gonna do is because it's corny me snapping on him from the chat. I'm gonna wait till we're on screen, the next Graph and Wasted show, and I'm gonna snap on Graph for about 20 minutes. About 20, 30. What do I think of Tommy Eichenberg? I mean, I don't think he's somebody. I don't think that he's somebody that we're gonna like. You might want to bring him back, but like he hasn't really done enough for the Raiders to take a hardline stance on Tommy Eichenberg. He has really done not a whole lot, man. If we're gonna be honest, he's not done a whole lot. Hug these. Why does it sound like the beginning of a Jodeci song? Sometimes when I think about Grav, soft piano starts playing. Oh man. Head coach Salah will fix the defense. Chris Shula, highly paid OC, a new toy at QB, and let them cook. Look, I like Kubiak, man. I like Shula. Salah, I can wrap my mind around that idea. But if we're being real, right? Like Salah didn't seem like he was receptive to being, the head coach in waiting for the Raiders, right? So I don't know if he was in a situation where, like, if I'm going to be a coordinator, I want to go somewhere that I'm comfortable. And if you're going to hire me as head coach, then just hire me. I can, Salah, look, a lot of the times coaches do better in their second act as head coach. For me, if you're drafting a quarterback, man, I really would like a offensive mind. For a quarterback in the National Football League in today's football, the play caller is almost as important as the player. Brennan Champ, I want Pete to stay for another 2 seasons and see we can actually build. The talent on this team is absolute dog water, and I want to see what he can actually do. I don't think he's senile at all. Brandon Coleman, I think that you might be senile. Bro, look, the game has passed the man by. Pete Carroll has not been successful in the last like 8 to 10 years. Like he's had a situation where he had a real good situation that he helped to procure. But at this point, he hasn't really been successful since that second Super Bowl. And that was a very long time ago. It's not like Pete Carroll went out the frying pan into the fire with winning, bro. I don't think that a guy of this age is the guy. You really need, if you want sustained success, you need, when you hire a coach, just as from my metric, when you hire a coach, the thing that you are looking for is you are looking for a person that should most likely be here for the next decade. That's what you signing on for when you look for a coach. You don't want to hire some coach that might, on a good day, give you 4 years, 5 years. Like, so okay, he's about to be 75. If he stays for another 3 years, he'd be damn near 80 years old. Who works on a regular basis at 80 years of age? Like, just name the guy. That's not something that we should strive to do. And the thing about him is that, some of the deficiencies with the Seattle Seahawks are Pete's problem. Some of the stuff that's going on this year has been his problem. Ah, shit. This team has gotten worse since he's gotten here. And that's not a surprise. It's not a mistake. And it ain't a coincidence. And see, I don't understand, Brandon Coleman, why you would want to see the Raiders trade a guy that's on the right side of 30, right? For what? Like, if they got a boatload of picks, they got 3 first rounders or 2 and 2 seconds, and you had a guy that you can believe in to pick right, maybe, right? And what they would do with those picks is go out there and try to replicate the success that they've had with him as a player. Yeah, but you don't, like, bro, people talk about first round picks as if they guarantee you some mark of success for the player. You forget we drafted Alex Leatherwood in the first round. We drafted right now Tyree Wilson in the first round, and that was a top 10 pick. A lot of fucking good that's doing us. A lot of fucking good that's doing us right now, right? So it's not where you pick, it's how you pick. And don't forget that player you want to trade for 2 first round picks was a 4th rounder. Let's not forget that. But the thing is, consistency and longevity is the metric at quarterback and head coach, because you might not figure it out the first year. You might not figure it out the second year. You might start figuring it out the 3rd year, right? And in the 4th year, bam, everything hits. That is what you were looking for. What you're looking for is rope from the fan base. You're looking for rope. You're looking for rope. Rorschach. Bodega is the HOA president for the Gulag. Salute, yo. My guy, Marky Mark Jr., 5'2". I think Pete could have stayed if it wasn't for all the silly decisions he was making, such as the issues with the offensive line and not playing rookie sooner. And, bro, this is part and parcel to the reason why I am completely okay with us moving on, because I think his ideology doesn't work for a team that is this poorly constructed. When you have a really good football team, you can bring along rookies slower because you have people that are playing at a subsistent level where it's not a necessity to play a young player. But when you got guys that are completely at the bottom of their positional group in the league, guys that are ranked like 50th in their position when they only got 60 people in the league playing their position, now you got a problem there. You got a problem, and you have to be pragmatic enough to see that early. Hug these niggas up. Brandon, you got to read the room, my guy. An assistant linebacker coach who was kicked out of Arizona college ball had a better looking team than Pete, bro. This is bad, bad, bad. Yeah, Hug these. It is. It is, right? And the situation dictates the outcome, right? I don't like to juxtapose, Pete versus AP, because if we're being honest, Antonio Pierce never really had a shot to be successful here. They didn't give him what he had. They gave him nothing that he asked for. It was almost like self-sabotaging behavior with Antonio Pierce. Salute to my brother Buck Nasty with the $20 Bizom. The Raiders need to get right. The arrow needs to point up, and the nation needs to see improvements. Us 30 years and older love this team, but coaching kids these days, this team to them ain't cool no more. They like a clown, like a joke. Nah, bro, that's true, and it makes me sad, bro. It makes me sad when I have my Raiders stuff on and I talk to the young homies, or like I'm around like my nephew's teammates that he play football with. And then my nephew's a running back. And they be like, you like the Raiders? The Raiders are ass. That shit hurt. Because, back in the day, people used to see this Raiders shit, and they used to be like, yo, I fuck with the Raiders, yo. I fuck with the Raiders. Yo, I'm a fan of such and such team, but I fuck with the Raiders. People used to say that all the time, bro. All the time. Raider Derek with the $5 slapperoo. I may be the minority, but I think Pete is overrated. Sucked with the Jets, Patriots, left USC with the death penalty, and had Schneider to rebuild Seattle. Look, bro. Listen. You're not wrong, bro. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, bro. He said, "Don't let the young fellas. Oh, never disrespect, never disrespect." When they say the Raiders are ass, I remember I said to one of them jokers, man. I said, "Man, your mama got a huge ass too." You know what I'm saying? So the Raiders and your mama ass is got a lot in common. You little motherfucker. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The fucked up part is I know his mother too. That's the fucked up part about it. Yeah, I grew up with his mama, so you know what I'm saying. We're gonna leave it right there because sometimes the family watch. We're gonna leave it there. Said your mama got a waist this big and an ass 4 times the size of it. Hey-oh. My God, Giovanni. First round picks matter less for a team that has no identity. System or culture, we need a coach and a QB with high ceilings and draft around that. Max helped accelerate the rebuild. Only up from here. Giovanni B. Yo, you have no idea how on point and on time that is, bro. That might be the super of the day. Oh, man. Love it, man. I love it. I love it. We got to be pragmatic here. Raider Low said, wasted ain't unky ancient times. Bro, get the fuck out of here, bro. Fuck out of here, bro. This motherfucker up here looking like goddamn. See who the fuck? Raider Low so up here looking like motherfucking. I ain't even gonna do it, bro. I'm not even gonna do it. He said, speaking of ass, there's an ass bowl in 2 weeks. Tommy, you are a sick and disgusted man, bro. Yo, I forgot. This is a family show, Duke. I am so sorry, yo. I'm sorry. I have to stop with my crap. I mean, my God. Stop. You're saying I'm ancient. Fuck up out of here, man. Yeah, man. I know, bro. Hey, listen, Raider Loso was an extra in the movie 8 Mile. That boy got that dread wig on and shit. Yeah, like motherfucker look like he in the goddamn Tyler Perry movie with the fucking dreads. Let me guess, Loso. Let me guess. When you was in the Tyler Perry movie, you know how Tyler Perry do. You the light skinned savior with the dread wig, the simp. He said hallelujah. Yeah, look, we talking ball. You relax, Cal. But look, let's be for real here. Like I told y'all, man. You got a situation now where bringing Pete Carroll back, and I'm not one of these guys that say fire Pete because I'm the dude that feels like he deserves amount of grace and respect because I'm gonna be real with you, bro. I don't want the Raiders to look like this, and I know, it is what it is, right? You are what your record says you are. You are what you are. You are how you operate. But when you start talking about, the Raiders, I don't want the Raiders to have a situation where it's a place where people's coaches' career go to die. That is a hard, metric to shake. It's hard to get good talent here like that. You might have agents around the league that might say that's not the job for you, bro. When you get the next Ben Johnson, you get the next Sean McVay, they might tell him, like, look, we know, look, bro, you're in high demand. You have options. You don't have to jump out the first job. You don't have to jump at the first job. Yeah, and look, I always support who they bring in initially. I supported McDaniels. I support our coaches, bro. I don't come into the situation being negative, right? But bruh, Pete gotta go. It's 100%. But it's the way he gotta go. It has to be a situation, Kyle, where the organization and Pete realize this ain't it. I'm gonna go my way. I'm gonna bow out gracefully. I want Pete to bow out gracefully. Now, this is probably his last payday. This is last bite at the apple, but this is going to make him look really bad. It's going to take his Hall of Fame career and flush it down the tube, because for you to make the NFL Hall of Fame, it's not contingent and based off of what you did in college. He's a guy who's won one Super Bowl. There are a few coaches that have won one Super Bowl. Big name coaches will not want to come here if the Raiders don't handle this properly from a media perspective, from a perspective. Yo, listen, perception is reality in today's drive-by media world. Perception is reality, bro. You don't get to the Hall of Fame, right, when you take over an organization and you make it worse than a guy who was a novice head coach. It just don't happen, bro. Hug these. Hey, I kept receipts on Pete. Adams, JPJ, Palmal, Kappa, Forsythe. 2-12. Gino's great. Forsythe is playing his best ball. We just need some more practice. We're going to win a bunch of games. Some of my bitch, bah. He went full Bernie Mac. He's this punk, some of my bitch need to go. Mike McCarthy is more of the same. No. Listen, bro. I would be 100% happy with the Raiders hiring somebody we never heard of over hiring one of these remade, remixed coaches. Mike McCarthy's a guy who didn't have a lot of success with a prime Aaron Rodgers. Hell no. Will be just as bad. My guy, Raider Rick, he also lost him a Super Bowl not handing the ball off the beast mode. Facts. We all know coaching is fraternity, and they talk to each other, and we'll tell them to avoid the Raiders like a plague. But once again, like I said, right, perception versus reality, right? And also, look, it's about John Spytek and Brady having those relationships and putting their head together and going out there and getting somebody that they believe in, that they have a good relationship with. Look, I know a lot of y'all don't agree with me. I don't want Mike Tomlin, and I love Mike Tomlin. I'm a big fan of his. I don't want Mike Tomlin, and I don't want John Harbaugh, because what I don't want for our fan base to have is a false sense of security. See, when you bring in people who are successful in other places, Belichick, Tomlin, John Harbaugh, not surface level, because look, you got diehard football fans that know ball, that know football. And a lot of y'all are right here in my chat, right? But when I go and I look over at other platforms that have bigger audiences than I might have, or people that have audiences that are like, or you even go into the Raiders live stream when they have the comments and stuff like that, right? People are not as savvy with ball as you would think. So they see a name because they don't really watch the game. They don't realize that that name is a name from the past that has done well in the past. That name has done well with a Hall of Fame quarterback. That name really hasn't lived up to its billing in a very freaking long time. And then you bring him here and you trump the expectations up to 1 million. Oh, we lit. We got Pete Carroll. Oh, we lit. We got Mike Tomlin. No, what we need to do is we need to be patient enough to find the next guy like that, to find the next Sean McVay, to find the next Mike Tomlin, to find the next Andy Reid. See, the thing is, yo, you can't take a shortcut doing that shit. You got to find the next guy, you have to take risk. Ryan Edwards, my dog with the $10 slapperoo. Love the content, man. Raider Nation for life. How nervous are you that the Chiefs will let us win and lose the first pick in the draft? Look, bro, I'm almost thinking that shit is poetic Raider justice. It's probably going to happen, right? You got Gardner Minshew. The thing is, the Raiders got to be fucking smart. Raiders got to be smart, bro. The Raiders got to be smart, right? Like, see, this is the thing, right? There's a few ways we can look at this right now. If you fire Pete Carroll in season, right? It's like, okay, you know, y'all fired him. It looks bad. You got to pay him the whole, whatever. That's Mark's problem, right? If you don't, especially if you know he ain't coming back, he going to go out. He don't give a shit. He going to go try to win. He want to pad his record. So he going to do everything that he want. The thing is, if you start seeing the Chiefs benching people, if I'm the Raiders and I'm guys on this team and I got some injuries, yo, I'm sitting out. Like, you know, especially if it's the last game of the season. But, bro, I don't really think, bro, the Raiders got whooped by the Philadelphia Eagles backups, bro. And Gardner Minshew is going to go out there and he's probably going to pick us apart because he's played well everywhere except here. If we're being real, especially when he has time and he got weapons, Gardner probably going to be fine. Salute to my brother, Demon King, man. My brother. Gifting 5 Raider Nation Unlimited slapperoons to the masses. Guys, make sure you thank Demon King for making you a member of the Wasted Talent Army. And guys, if you have not subscribed, we are very, very close. Like, I think we less than 30 away from 15, bro. I think if anything needs to happen this season, we need to get over 15, bro. Should have been there, yo. Look, I will say this humbly, respectfully to everyone who does Raider content. I am one of the best. And I would like my numbers to reflect that. Get us there, y'all. It's Kelsey last game. Look, bro, everybody play to win. Everybody play to win. Now, Brian Daboll is a guy that I just think he is a better coordinator than head coach. I'm totally out on a Brian Daboll train. I don't want Brian Daboll as a head coach. As a coordinator, I'd sign up for that 100 times out of 100. But not as our head coach. I'm just not with that. Yo, my dog, Pepe, with dapper 3-piece suit on, the dapper 3-piece, Pepe Aguilar. Man, that's why I clicked. I gotta let y'all. I gotta understand. Y'all gotta understand, man. I'm gonna have Pepe kick y'all in y'all ass and show you inside some style. So one thing is being a mediocre team, showing signs of growth and getting better each week, step by step, right? Another completely different thing is being the worst team in the NFL and getting worse. And Pepe, this is what I'm talking about. That's why the Raiders need to strive for better, right? And what I mean by better is better social proof to the fan base, like better coaching, right? Young coach, young quarterback. Yo, we're getting better, incrementally improving. We're growing together. When you put yourself in a situation, this is why I don't want to retread coach. When you put yourself in that situation, when you bring in a coach who has already gotten to the mountaintop, you are speeding the timeline up from a perspective standpoint to the fan base. The perspective is that this guy's got it figured out. He's won before he's going to win here. When are we going to start winning? That's what happens. We don't need that. We need to have a situation. This is a slow build. Quarterback, coach, build together, grow the team, young players, all rookie deals. Let's move in the right direction. That's what needs to happen here, bro. Anything else than that is uncivilized, bro. It really is. My guy, Demon King, gifting 5 more Raider Nation Unlimited, Wasted Talent memberships to the masses. Oh my God. Salute, and I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, man. Rated Ho, he goes, you're the greatest of all time. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, man. Listen, man, there's a lot of great people that have done this, man. I just want to be looked at as one of the ones, right? My guy, SG Stairs Show, my brother. Wasted, I totally agree with you. And no to Joe Burrow, injury prone. Get a young head coach and a rookie QB and let them cook. Raider Nation for life. Look, the thing for me is this, right? I'm receptive to a Joe Burrow being brought to the Raiders if the Raiders win or they're out of the box on some of these quarterbacks and they miss on Dante Moore and Fernando Mendoza. Like, I don't want them to draft Pavia, one of these guys that are not that good, and overdraft these guys as opposed to a proven commodity like Joe Burrow. I am totally on the same sheet of music with you because I believe the way you really build a team is through rookie contracts. People in their first contract, not on their second. People who are available. Because, listen, your ability is your availability, right? My guy, John Jones, with the $10 slappy. Wasted. What do you think about Cliff Kingsbury, head coach? I'm not a big air raid guy, not a big Cliff Kingsbury's head coach guy. Cliff Kingsbury's offense, once you figure it out, doesn't work real well, right? And then you need a certain kind of quarterback to run said offense. Cliff Kingsbury did pretty good in Arizona, but once you figure out that scheme, he doesn't really have a whole lot of places to go at that point. He hasn't shown that ability to get out of it. Now, when I look at Cliff Kingsbury, right, he has Jaden Daniels, and he has been okay. They made the playoffs, right? But then can you do it again? Can you create it again? I don't necessarily know if I trust Cliff Kingsbury as a head coach. My guy, Marky Mark Jr. with the $5 slapper room. The next coach we bring in needs to have success right away, or we need to compete like we were promised this year. I don't think the metric for success for a team that's this bad is subjective, bro. Success is coming in here and winning 7 games next year. That's a rousing success. It's a rousing success. And we got to understand it's a marathon. It is a marathon, not a sprint. The Zach Taylor and Burrow package, I don't know, bro. Ferg, I don't know, bro. I don't necessarily know, right? Because what does that look like for us? What does that look like? And Ferg, you got to chill with the spamming, bro. You got to chill with the spamming, bro. You will be unceremonious for life. The F up out of here with that spamming. Mendoza or Moore? I'm more of a Mendoza guy because I think the bust factor is a lot lower for Fernando Mendoza than it is for Dante Moore. I think Moore has a lot of more physical ability. I like him. They both, played at 2 different programs. They done well. You got a Cal UCLA kind of thing going on. I like those guys. The thing is with Fernando Mendoza, the thing I know is he personifies all of the things that you want out of a quarterback, especially a young rookie quarterback, when you are a guy that is drafting someone high. You pray that when you draft a guy number 1, right, that he becomes a superstar. That's what you're praying for. You pray that he becomes Mahomes and Josh Allen, right? You pray for that. But even if he's Matt Ryan, that's a great thing, right? That's all you can hope for, but you just don't want it to be a situation where he's a bust. I think Fernando Mendoza's floor is the reason why I'm intrigued. His floor is higher than most of these guys. His floor is higher. And Dante Moore is not staying in school, bro. He ain't staying in school. There's no reason for him to. Why would he stay in school to come out instead of he could be the number 1 pick, anywhere from the number 1 to the 3rd pick in the draft, right? And then you come out next year and you got a great quarterback class where Arch Manning going to be headlining that. You're almost guaranteed to not get that. Are the Raiders ready to win with Joe Burrow? We will have to go heavy free agency to get receivers and other help. I don't want the dream team approach. I don't really either. You know? Salute. Jesse Minter, look, we haven't had much success with people from the Chargers lately. Now we have, previously, like years and years past, right? I like Jesse Minter. He's a smart kid. The Jesse Minter situation would have to come with the package of a very, very accomplished offensive coordinator. To me. Thank you, Pepe. Appreciate you, bro. He said, hope to meet you soon. You're a true Raider. Keep growing and doing great. Appreciate you, my brother. Produced by Jay. JT said he's surprised the media questioned the security with Pete with 3 games left. He said he would have expected that the last game, the writing is on the wall. Look, bro, I know you guys like to bring up, my guy JT the Brick to me, right? Because I'm a regular on his show and we locked in. I respect JT, like JT a hell of a lot, but we don't need to say the quiet thing out loud. JT works for the Raiders, bro. What you expect him to do? He interviews Pete Carroll. Like I have the ability to say what I want because this is my platform, right? I don't work for the Raiders. I'm gonna say whatever I want, and I don't interview Pete, and I don't have to look him in the eye every time. And see, that doesn't mean that I would change my approach if I did. Because listen, I don't scratch my head, I don't tap dance unless I hear good music, right? I ain't tap dancing. That's the reason why I like the space that I'm in now, because I don't have to, right? But when you work for the organization and you got to look across from this man, you got to interview him. You have certain, you can't repel the head coach by calling for his head or thinking he's going to be fired and saying he's going to be fired when you get a check from the Raiders and the head coach plays. Like you could be fucking a lot of different things up for people. So stop judging that man for doing his job. He does a great job over there. He does the best he can. But what do you want from the guy? What do you want from him? Do you go to your job and shit all over your job? No. Right or wrong. So like get off the guy's back, man. Get off the guy's back. He's been doing a great job for 25 over 25 years with the Raiders. And he's going to continue to. Salute to him, bro. And for me, man, I'm a loyal guy. If you do the right thing by me, I'm always going to do the right thing by you. That's just who I am. Wasted you through I get through my daily run. Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you, man. Pull up, man. Gather around a fire. Nav, man, is in the place. Coordinators that are only great coordinators and not head coaches. Josh McDaniels, Dayball, Dennis Allen, etc. Got to be thinking young offensive head coach than those that have been failed already. Kubiak, look, I would go with Kubiak, but see, Nav, this is the deal with Kubiak, right? We do this all the time. There was a lot of times where we want the guy. We want the guy that everybody's saying is the number one guy. The number one head coaching candidate. We want that coach. The problem with the Raiders is our past history, our recent history with head coaches. We are going back into like Al Davis categories where Al was getting rid of coaches every year. Like Mark is on that trajectory now. So the Raiders might not be attractive to a man that he's the bull of the wolves. He's the belle of the ball. He's the coach that everybody wants. That is a different position to be in. You have different options. So you might not even entertain or pick the phone up for the Raiders, especially if you're not sure what they want to do at quarterback. Especially if Kubiak might not even like these quarterbacks that is coming out this year. See, so there's that. There's that. Now, Chris Shula, that name is not floating around the same as Kubiak. And I would prefer him because he has an idea of how to coach both sides of the ball. My brother David Walker in the place to be, man, salute. So do right by me and tell me that shit, tell them that shit Leather. What the? Shut the F up. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you, man. I can finally feel my fingers after Sunday's game. Yo, Raider Jeff. Sorry, bro. I got snowed in, homie. I got snowed in, man. You went out there and froze your ass off. Ron G, the youngest DJ in charge, says, I wouldn't mind Burrow, but I much prefer a young guy that's our guy in an innovative offense, young-minded coach like Ben Johnson. That's a fact. Yo, I know what you meant to say, but you know, I get it. You know, I know you was trying to, you tried to live, but you know, the F up out of here. Make sure you type it right next time, Q. But make sure you type it right with your crap. I was supposed to go to that game. I forgot. I am so glad I didn't go. Fuck all of that nonsense. David's on. Look, man, you would have probably dragged down that whole scenario had you gone. The F up out of here. Look, John Harbaugh, I'm good, bro. I'm good. Like, yo, I'm good on retreads, bro. I don't want no more retreads. I don't want the shittier version of something that was once great. I'm cool. Cool, bro. Cool. I won't say Mark is on that trajectory. He gave McDummy a second season, and he was so not worth it. Bro, you had to give Josh McDaniels a second season, bro. That wasn't that would have been really, really problematic had he not. I just think that Mark's biggest problem is not hiring a GM and giving him total autonomy. That's the biggest problem, man. That's the biggest problem. Yeah, you have to hang on to Colton Miller. You do, like, bro. We all want people traded for nothing. Like, we can't have that. You can't get rid of a left tackle that's one of the best left tackles in football just because. What? So you can go out there and try to draft another one that plays as well as him? You know, and then you say, like Dave says, I'm trading everybody and not on a rookie contract. Why? Why? For what? When you have this much cap space. Listen, bro. I'm not trading Max for nothing. I'm not like, bro, I'm not doing that now. You don't have to do that. This fucking team, bro. Dude needs to show me that he could draft starters in the 3rd and the 4th round. I don't trade talent like that when I'm not sure that the GM that is currently, in that position is any good. I'm not sure whether the GM can get it done. Because we've seen this movie, right? We've seen John Gruden and them fuck drafts up with 3 first-round picks. Until I am sure that John Spytek is worthy of having that level of control and autonomy, then I will say, listen, you can trade somebody. And then trading a Max Crosby, bro, to me is bro, it's not just the play, right? It's to me the recent past. You don't trade somebody unless you have a clear contingency plan. If the contingency plan is the currency of hope from draft picks, that is not a good enough reason for me to do it, especially if he wants to be here. Now, if he don't want to be here anymore, then grant him his grace and send him somewhere that will help him, because he deserves that. But if he's bought in and he's a leader in his locker room, you keep that and you cultivate that and you build around that. You don't just trade somebody for the sake of fucking trading them. You need a pass rusher, an O-line, and a QB to win a Super Bowl. Why would you trade Max? You would then have to draft another Max. You'd have to go out. Then you would have people say, oh, get Ruben Bain, in the hopes that he can even be anywhere close to fucking Max Crosby. Close. Salute to my guy, Jonathan Lamelli, man. He's a wasted. Good to see you live. Happy holidays to you and your family. Keep up the great work. Hopefully the Raiders treat us right next year. Cheers, my guy. Salute to you and your family as well, my brother. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you, bro. Hey, Real Music World. You know what you're going to cosplay as? You're going to cosplay as somebody that's going to the gulags permanently. Don't come in disrespecting Graf, bro. Get the F up out of here. The F up out of here. See you later, man. You don't ever disrespect, you fucking bum. You fucking bum. What the F this Graf got to do with anything? You were over here on Raider Nation Unlimited. You were not at Oak Las Vegas. And even though you're not, this is his home here too. That's my brother. You don't disrespect him. Only I get to talk shit about Graf.
Fucking gorilla looking smelly bitch. Motherfucker, you got me fucked up.
My God, don't you ever come over here disrespecting. Dave's on. It's okay if you have a little learning disability, yo. You know what I'm saying? Listen, Dave, we got you. DAVE, hooked on phonics, work for me. Yeah, man. Yeah, he's in the gulags permanently, man. Effing bum. DAVE, hooked on phonics, worked for me. Oh my, crazy here, man. Crazy. Yo, hey, hooked on phonics work for my dumb ass too. Eric, my guy. Yo, Chris, 4 Raiders became a YouTube member. Salute to everybody in the chat. Appreciate me, man. Truthfully, I taught my brother how to read on Hooked on Phonics, and he's a genius. Real shit. David, keep telling yourself that. Keep telling yourself. Keep telling yourself that, Dave. Your brother's a genius because he's a genius. He got nothing but debauchery from you, you effing bum. Yo, Nav, man, gifting 5 Raider Nation Unlimited slappies to the masses, man. Appreciate you, my brother. Yeah, he got unhooked on phonics. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what he even talking about, bro. He fucking up already. How you teach that man how to read and you ain't putting the super chat in right or the chat in right? Get the F up out of here, man. Yes, this offseason definitely needs to be transformative, right? Definitely, bro. Yo, 5 new Gout members, as Bodega said. And Bodega knows. They said salute to the Gout members. The Gout is spreading. He goes, I don't type shit anymore. Kid, I just talking to the phone, man. And that's your problem, Dave. That is your problem. The only thing you got to do right now, bro, is listen to the great and powerful and type and talk your shit by typing. And you doing talk to text. I mean, you too old for that shit anyway, Dave. The F's up with you. You gotta put the beer down, bro. Wasted, messing with everybody because his weird ass grew up reading addiction. Why gotta be weird and shit, man? You fucking bro. Bro, you know what's funny, Rob, yo? You know what's funny, Rob, yo? You look like some fucking uncooked chicken breasts. You fucking bum. You fucking bum. You know what? I did grow up reading the dictionary. My father used to make me read the dictionary. You effing bum. You see who you calling old, you bastard. I mean, with the F, Robert Cisnero. The F is, you know what the F is wrong with you, bro. This motherfucker looking like, bro, you know what Robert Cisnero looked like, bro? They used to have this toy called Muscles back in the day, yo. The figures in the 80s, man. That shit looked just like Robert Cisneros too, bro. That shit looked just like him, bro. I think these toys were inspired. He was inspired by these toys, bro. That Joker looked crazy, man. Look at it. Don't it look just like Rob? Look at Rob, yo. A little Robert Cisneros figures all up in the chat, bro. Oh, man. Sergeant, I hate living in the past, but McDummy was the biggest mistake we made. Him and Garoppolo. That's where our downslide started. Nah, bro. The biggest mistake we made was John Gruden. You can't tell me no different. It was John Gruden. Yeah, I'm telling you right now, man. He's a leave bro alone. Yo, my God. Oh, my God, yo. Ross is oh, man. Bro, Salters to the place, yo. Are you going to want another Christian QB? Why would I not? Why, like, bro, why? That's a weird ass question, bro. Why would I don't care who he listen, he could be Christian, he could be whatever religion, right? That doesn't really matter to me. Like, if he's a leader and he's a good person, you could be whatever religion, bro. I mess with you. As long as you're a leader, a good person, a good player, and a guy that works hard, a guy that studies hard, a guy that can make people follow him at quarterback and produce. Because we're in the football's a production-based business, bro. It's a weird-ass question, bro. What the F is wrong with you? I mean, yo, listen, that should be, listen. If you don't stand for something, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So I support people who love and stand for something. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you don't stand for something, you'll fall. I respect whether I believe what you believe or not, I respect it. I respect it. I respect it, bro. And salute to my guy Navman gifting 5 more Raider Nation Unlimited slappies to the masses. My God, the man is on fire. Navman has come and blessed the chat once again. And everybody who's gotten a membership from all these guys, from Demon Hunter, Navman, CGR, all these guys. Say thank you to these guys, man. Thank you, bro. But, bro, we want leaders. We don't want any guys that's going to come in here and, screw the pooch and not do the work and not get people to support and follow them and not lead people on this offense. We want a quarterback that people can follow and that's going to produce. Like, I hate how people are talking bad about Fernando. I don't know. Look, bro, if I'm being real, it's not like when I see Fernando Mendoza, I see Josh Allen. It's not like when I see Fernando Mendoza, I see Joe Burrow or Drake May or one of these kind of guys. I don't see Caleb Williams. I don't see that. But what I do see is he's a fucking good dude. And he's a hardworking dude. And so what? He's a little goofy. So what? But God damn it, if he comes here and he balls and he does his job, he don't have to. Like, bro, if you build a good enough roster, you don't have to have Patrick Mahomes to win a Super Bowl. You don't have to have Matthew Stafford to win a Super Bowl. There have been some quarterbacks that are just good quarterbacks. Like, I'll give you an example. Like Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco is a good quarterback. Or just even getting to a quarterback. You got guys like Brock Purdy that got to a Super Bowl. You can win, bro. You can win with guys who are good ball players. And, Peyton Manning was no goofy. I don't know what the F you talking about. My brother, David Walker, gifting 5 Raider Nation Unlimited memberships to the masses, man. I appreciate that, man. Man, Trent Dilfer, but I don't want to go back too far on Trent Dilfer, bro. Like, even Eli Manning. Eli Manning was a really good quarterback who won 2 Super Bowls, but he was not a superstar. Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. He's not a superstar. Jalen Hurts just won a Super Bowl. You can win when you got a good quarterback. Does it help if you have a great quarterback? Because guess what? If you got a great quarterback, you'll probably win more than one Super Bowl. And bro, we say Gruden was writing the shit, but we don't know that. I don't think that team would have gotten as far as it did with Gruden as it did with Rich Bisaccia. If we're being real. I don't know that, bro. Like everybody is so enamored with Gruden and what could have been. I'm over that shit. I want somebody that's actually going to win. I don't want somebody that woulda, coulda, shoulda, and we got to move the metric and the bar for success for them. Yo, Mendoza's 6'5", smart, can throw the fucking pigskin. I like him. Look. Fernando Mendoza equals Jared Goff with more mobility. Jared Goff, listen, I like Jared Goff. Bro, the thing that we got to focus on just as equally as the play caller, there's three things that Raider Nation need to focus on. We need to focus on the free agent crop of players in this year's free agency class. We need to focus on who the best play caller for this team and what kind of play caller is this guy? Who is going to be that guy? And who's going to be the next head coach and quarterback? Those are the four things we need to focus on. Raider Rick says, being in Vegas, I think you want a Christian guy. Less chance for trouble off the field. Never heard a Carr doing stupid shit off the field. You want an adult. You don't necessarily have to have it's not a religious brand. It's a branded person. Because that's not mutually exclusive to just being Christian or Muslim or whatever. Being a good person and a solid, stable human being is not mutually exclusive to that. Listen, bro, I'm not paying George Pickens all that money. We ain't doing that. We ain't there yet. The only way I go get a superstar wide receiver is if the offensive line, the defensive line is built. We got corners. We have, we've drafted running back. We got Bowers. We got our quarterback. We got a trigger man. And then the thing that puts us over the top is a superstar wide receiver. Now, George Pickens is a merc. He's very good when things are going well, and he is a cancer when they are not going well. To me, right, from what I can see, the effort he puts in, he lost the game for them on Monday Night Football against Detroit. I don't want him, bro. I'm sorry. Draft your wide receiver. I prefer to have Antonio Brown on the Steelers. I don't want Antonio Brown on the Raiders and the Bucks. I don't need that guy. I want a wide receiver on the first contract. I don't want a wide receiver on the second and third contract unless I draft him. Real rap. I don't want no more of these guys coming out here using the Raiders as a stimulus package for the rest of their life. Do the right thing and draft a superstar wide receiver. And then if you decide to pay him in your infinite wisdom, then that's what you do. Hank Schrader, I don't think Gruden's coming back to coaching. I think he found his niche with podcasts and making content. He found his niche well before that. I think John Gruden will coach to the day he dies, man. If you give him a chance to, and it's something that piques his fancy, he will. Navman. Mendoza 6'6", 225, smart, gamer, leader, enough said. I view it too, bro. I think sometimes we try to make this shit more complicated than it is. Big Poppy. He said, Azell, you win with great coaching. We got the best running back, and look where that got us. No QB in this class is good or better than Herbert, Knicks, or Mahomes. Coaching. You don't know that yet. You don't know that. You will have guys back in the day saying, oh, man, this guy's not good as it. You don't know. Mendoza might be better than all these guys. You don't know that. And look, I hope Dante turns up too. Dante's a friend of the show. I support Dante. But look, man, I hope we have a situation like the Bengals got, where you got 2-3 dudes turning up. And everybody is as anointed Justin Herbert. And look, I like Justin Herbert, but Justin Herbert is no superstar quarterback. Not yet. He's done nothing in his league yet. Bo Nix has done nothing yet. They're good, but goddamn it. And nobody knew who Brady was either. But guys, listen, I'm going to be transparent with you guys. This has been a great show. If I do say so myself, I appreciate the support and the love from every single one of y'all out here. I think it's time to bring the train back into the train. Later, y'all. Y'all have a terrific night, man. Love every single one of y'all. We're going to be rocking and rolling the rest of the week, man. But I love every single one of y'all. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you for everybody who sent the super, who hit like, who sent a comment, everybody that supported on social media, and everybody who has not subscribed yet, and everybody who already subscribed. I thank and love every single one of y'all. This is such a tough season, bro. And the fact that you guys are still around, we got over 600 people in the room, is amazing, bro. And it's a testament to how great this fan base is, man. Love y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Thank you, guys. And guess what, man? Guess what? Thank you, my brother. Guess what? We're going to do a terrible mock draft the next show just to piss that guy that said he don't like my mock drafts off, man. And what you can do is that guy right there. Get the F up out of here. You guys have a great night, man. Love every single one of y'all. We out of here.